Study Section 6. Psychosocial and Client-Centered Theories. Introduction. In this study section, you will examine psychosocial and client-centered theories. We will also discuss the importance of each theory to social work. Learning outcomes. After you have studied this study section, you should be able to 1. Define the psychosocial and the client-centered theories. 2. Describe the importance of each theory to social work practice. 1. Psychosocial theory. All social work practice relies on psychosocial concepts in many respects. Currently and historically, the psychosocial theory has remained useful in the practice whether the focus of attention is on the individual and family, large communities and organizations, treating various kinds of social dysfunction, or on the theories about social change. Social work is and has always been dedicated to the alleviation of suffering and to the enhancement of human life. Psychosocial approach to social work grew out of efforts, especially but not exclusively by caseworkers, to support the well-being of individuals and families and to respond to people's needs, to restore social functioning and to better their interpersonal relationships in life situations. The psychosocial theory has consistently recognized the influences of biological factors, internal, psychological, and emotional processes, external social and physical conditions, and the interplay among these. As new informations and ideas emerge from social work experience and from related fields, additional light is shed on our understanding of personality and social forces and the interplay between them. The psychosocial approach is an open, flexible system of thought that draws on many sources. In a diagram form, interplay of personality and social factors in psychosocial approach. Psychosocial caseworkers, now sometimes referred to as clinical social workers, seek to help clients, individuals, families, and larger groups to reduce problems arising from some kind of disequilibrium between them and their environments. The context of the client is inevitably made up of many interacting systems, several of which may need to be studied in order for the social worker and clients to decide how to proceed. Psychosocial treatment is intervention tailored to address those aspects that are most accessible and most capable of change. Treatment strategies, therefore, depend on a very careful analysis of the relevant forces or systems to determine which are actually amenable to modification. Sometimes, a small shift in the balance of forces can create a remarkable difference. That is, a symptomatic child may enjoy rapid relief when his or her parents' marital problem is solved. The objectives of psychosocial approach: working collaboratively with clients are 1. To recover, 2. To reinforce, 3. To mobilize strengths, 4. To cope, in bracket, coping abilities. 5. To locate resources. And 6. To find optimal fits between the clients and their social or physical surroundings. In the psychosocial approach, the social worker demonstrates non-possessive warmth and concern, non-judgmental acceptance, genuineness, accurate empathy, a profound respect for the importance of self-direction, and realistic optimism about change. The psychosocial approach is applied on economic and political injustice, poverty, discrimination, deprivation, inequity, hatred, or alienation on the basis of race or ethnicity, class, gender, sexual orientation, age, or disability, which are unacceptable to the advocates of the psychosocial approach. 2. Importance of psychosocial theory in social work practice. One important role of the psychosocial theory is its recognition of the interplay of psychological systems with biological and social systems. For instance, the process of aging or changes in health affects the personality, stability or instability of the personality, influences the health or the course that the aging process takes. When people are disabled by diseases, stress is placed in turn on their family members and others who support and sustain them. Those in attendance can feel they are doing a thankless job and often require attention and support to recognize the value of the effort. Psychosocial workers, therefore, address all relevant systems, biological, social, and psychological, that influence a person's situation. Client-centered theory. The term client-centered has been primarily replaced with person-centered. These terms are interchangeably. Rogers, 1986. The term client, as opposed to patients, was in popular use by social workers long before the field of psychology embraced client-centered theories. Carl Rogers developed many of the original principles of client-centered theory via the influence and observation of social work practitioners. Rogers, 1980. The client-centered theory was easily integrated into social work because of its derivations from the functional theory. Many of the values expressed in the client-centered theory are fundamental to social work practice. Basic concepts of client-centered theory. 1. All individuals exist in a continually changing world of experience, of which they are the center. Only the individual can completely and genuinely perceive his experience of the world. 2. Individuals will react to reality as they perceive it, rather than as it may be perceived by others. 3. There is no absolute reality that takes precedence over an individual's perceptions. 4. The best vantage point for understanding behavior is from the internal frame of reference of the individual. 5. Most ways of behaving adopted by the individual are consistent with the individual's concept of self. 6. When the individual feels he is loved or not loved by significant others, he develops either positive or negative self-regard. 7. The fully functioning individual is open to all experiences, exhibiting no defensiveness. The major values in the client-centered theory are: 1. A belief in the fundamental dignity and worth of an individual. And 2. The commitment of social works to self-determination. Study section summary. In this study section, we examined the psychosocial theory and the client-centered theory. We noted that the psychosocial theory takes the psychological and the social influence into consideration in the treatment of patients. Furthermore, we also explained that the client-centered theory recommends treatment with the active involvement of the patient. End of study section 6. Thanks for listening.